was on my desk. I saw the return address, Pripyat, Psychiatric Hospital. Then I saw the postmark, yesterday's date, on a letter from Pripyat. I tore the envelope open. On the paper, there was only one word, help. I stood there holding it, because the word wasn't the scary part. The scary part was that it arrived. I didn't explain it to myself. I just left. Checkpoint, barrier, documents. A quick glance from a man who didn't want eye contact. Then the road went quiet. Pripyat didn't look like a movie set. It looked real. Huge Soviet apartment blocks, concrete everywhere, rows of identical windows, black, all of them. No lights, no voices, no cars, just wind and the sound of my own steps. I kept walking toward the address on the envelope. The hospital showed up behind the trees like it had been waiting. A massive Soviet building, heavy, dark, square. It rose above the tree line like a slab of concrete someone forgot to bury. The front was covered in moss, not a little moss, a thick green film in places. The air around it smelled wrong, wet, sour, like mold and old basement water. This city is dead, and that hospital should be dead too. Then I saw it. On the second floor, one window was flickering, not shining, flickering, like a screen. I stared long enough to know I wasn't imagining it. Everything else was black, every other window, every other building, but that one window kept pulsing with cold light. A TV, how is that possible? There hasn't been electricity here in a very long time, and the city has been dead for years. I circled the building, no cars, no generators, no extension cords, no camp lights, nothing, just that window. I found an entrance. The door opened too easily. Inside, I expected trash, broken glass, a collapsed hallway, but it was clean, not new, not renovated, clean like someone had been here recently. The corridor was empty, the floor wasn't covered in debris. Old Soviet signs were still on the walls, Cyrillic, faded, straight. How is this possible? The hospital's been closed for years, but it looks like it was taking visitors yesterday. Somewhere upstairs, I heard a soft hiss, then a click, then silence. I walked toward the reception desk. Reception, a counter, metal cabinets, a card index. I pulled a drawer open, patient files, sorted neatly. Like a work-in hospital, I grabbed one file, then another, and froze. My name was on the front. Petrov Alexei. I opened it. There was an admission date, printed like it was routine, like I'd actually been processed here. I hadn't. I set the file down and walked straight for the exit. Door, one step outside, and I was back in the lobby. Lobby, same counter, same stairs. I tried again. Lobby, another door, lobby. No matter what I did, the building kept putting me back in the same place. I needed proof. I took a coin from my pocket and set it on the threshold, right on the line, so I couldn't lie to myself later. I stepped out. Lobby. I turned around. The coin wasn't at the door anymore. It was on the lobby floor, near reception, placed like someone wanted me to notice. Upstairs, that hiss again. Click, silence, click. I looked at the wall clock without thinking. 7:13 p.m. I don't know why that number mattered, but the building made it matter. A paper slid into view on the reception counter. It wasn't there a second ago. White, clean, flat, printed text. Check the log, lower level. I went downstairs. The lower level was clean too. A long corridor, pipes overhead, doors with old labels. At the end, a table. On it, a heavy logbook, 2 columns, admitted/discharged. I flipped through and found my name. Petrov Alexei, discharged, 7:15 p.m. I went cold. I ran back upstairs to reception and yanked my file from the drawer. There was a new line. It wasn't there before. Time of death, 7:15 p.m. I glanced at my watch, 7:14. Upstairs, that hiss again. Click. Silence. Click. I hit the exit. Lobby. Another door. Lobby. Another. Lobby. And then it finally clicked in my head. This place doesn't let you leave. It doesn't trap you. It processes you. My admission was already written. The discharge time was already written. And the clock was just catching up. I looked up the stairs toward the flickering window, and I said it out loud, quiet. I understand now.